Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for another episode of Death Battle. And this time we have quite the unexpected matchup. It's Red Team from Red vs. Blue versus Blue Team, also from Red vs. Blue. Now, as I should say with all reaction videos, please click the link in the description below to go watch the original episode first, before watching mine or anyone else's reactions. Don't be a dick, support the official release. Okay, so, how do I know these characters? Well, I've been a fan of Red vs. Blue for quite some time. In fact, I got into Red vs. Blue not long after Season 9 wrapped up. I watched through the whole series, loved it, waited for Season 10, loved it, and for Christmas that year, I got the Red vs. Blue 10 Years box set. And yeah, I got DVDs and Blu-rays of like the other, well, I mean Blu-rays of the other seasons. I just can't find them at the moment, but they're around. So I'd like to say I'm quite familiar with the show, and especially since it's what got me into Rooster Teeth, and like this got brought up on an episode of Robustcast I was on, and I just want to bring it up here, just because. I just want to take a little moment to just mention how kind of big Red vs. Blue has been to just, like, people who are fans of, like, Rooster Teeth, like, as a whole, or, like, stuff they do. Because without, like, Red vs. Blue happening, Ruby wouldn't exist, Genlock wouldn't exist, X-Ray and Vav, No Man of Nowhere, Achievement Hunter, Funhouse, like, all the stuff they do. Even Death Battle wouldn't exist. Now, yeah, you could say, oh, Death Battle was inspired by Haloid and Deadliest Warrior, but it was, the reason it was actually invented was because Ben joined Screw Attack solely because he thought, oh, it's like Rooster Teeth, who make Red vs. Blue. And it was there that he got the idea for Death Battle and all that stuff. That and Boomstick's voice is inspired by Sarge. Speaking of, oh boy, I really hope there are more jokes about Boomstick being Sarge's son, because that's one of my favorite things that came out of Season 14. I don't care what anybody says, that is canon. And while admittedly I have seen the previews for this episode, I do know there is going to be some of that. And I'm just going to quickly say why I watched the previews, because a couple of my friends told me what goes down in the Red Team preview, so I just thought, might as well, and I assumed the same was going to happen with the Blue Team preview. But then I got taken down before it became public, because this episode got delayed. But, you know what? It's here now. All is good. And, we're also just gonna show off that I've got this Caboose plushie as well. Just because, and with Caboose being my favourite character in the whole show. Now on to who I think is going to win. I honestly don't know. Because, okay, the general consensus from people is that Blue Team win, and yeah, I get why, because they've got, well, my biggest thing for them is that they've got people who can body hop and possession and whatnot. Like, that's the biggest thing that I believe Blue Team have. And while some people might say, oh, but Blue Team have Tex, which I'm still a little iffy on because Tex is a freelancer, not officially a Blue. But, you know, I know what they're going with, so I can look past it, whatever. But it's a thing with Tex that, because she's the AI fragment of specifically the memory of Allison's death, that she's always doomed to fail in the end. And I'm just going to throw this out there. That doesn't mean I think solely because of that Blue Team is going to lose. How I interpret that is that Tex, in the end of this, will lose because the main goal of a death battle is to kill the opposing side. And I've specifically said Tex will lose. Doesn't mean blue team can't win afterwards. So there's that, and I still stand by this, that red team's biggest edge is as a whole, as a team, they actually work better together than the blues do. And considering that was a big part in Meta versus Carolina, as to, spoiler alert, Carolina won, because she and Epsilon work better together. And that brings me to another point. I know in the preview they said they're looking at... Well, they didn't say they weren't going to compare the two, but from the looks of it, they're looking at Alpha Church. And I don't believe you should compare him to Epsilon. Because even up until the point where Alpha was killed by that imp, he never accepted that he was an AI. He was just always like, no, I'm a ghost, I'm a spirit. Boom, motherfucker. And then he died. Whereas Epsilon, he was able to get access to his full potential. Now, yes, in theory, Alpha could do that, but it's the fact that he never did, that he never accepted it. And I don't think randomly in the fight, Church is just going to suddenly go, I accept that I'm an AI, and then do all sorts of wacky nonsense. That would just come way the fuck out of nowhere. Although that does give Church significantly less material to go off of. Yikes. But, I'm still really on the fence because there's just too many variables going into this fight, and that's, the big thing with having a team versus team fight. Because of, how many members there are, or, here's something this person can do, and all that crazy stuff. Although from the animation preview, I saw that Griff has the Griff shot. I'm very happy about that, because this is something I rant about quite a bit. It's something I'm really kind of annoyed at 343 Industries on in a whole. As a whole, whatever. At the end of Season 10, it's revealed that, oh yeah, Griff kept the Meta's Brute shot as a trophy, and he even uses it, and I'm like, oh dang, that's really cool. But then it wasn't a thing in Halo 4, and it's still not a thing in Halo 5, so in any future season, Griff has never been able to have it, so they've had to, write in a reason why he doesn't have it. The UNSC confiscating it, and other such nonsense. And I'm just kind of annoyed that 343 just don't bring back the brute weapons, although they'll bring back the gravity hammer. Just saying. So it's one of those things that kind of irk me. And there's one more thing that does irk me a little about this debate. In Season 2, at the end of it, Surge said he built a bomb inside one of the robot bodies that he gave to the blue team. And in Season 3 it went off, sent them into the future, but then later seasons it was revealed, okay, no, you never actually time traveled, but there's a whole thing of Church time traveling. I have my own little theory on that. By the way, I personally theorize that it was Gamma just messing with Church the whole time, fabricating this scenario where it'd take him a long time to actually do it. And there's evidence for that because Gamma was one of the AIs who tortured Alpha like that, so I think that's totally possible. And honestly, with that bomb being stated by Surge to be 10 megatons, and I think I even heard someone that they're supposedly taken up to 50. My big issue... Well, I have two issues on that, specifically for this episode. One of them being of how, insanely inconsistent it makes everything. Because it's just hang on. Why are they surviving 10 or 50 megatons? It's nothing, but, a single grenade can knock them out or kill them. That don't make sense. And I mean, I'll go to the grenade thing because it's happened, multiple times. And my other things, and it's specifically for this episode in question, if we take that into account and apply it to everybody, because everybody who was here was there for that, it kind of means none of them can kill each other. So, yeah, that's kind of why I don't really tend to look at that much. So yeah, I really don't know how this is gonna go, and I'm kind of dreading either way, because the thing is, Caboose is my favorite character, but Red Team I prefer over Blue Team. So either my preferred team dies, or my favorite character dies. Or possibly both, because I even said this in a couple other videos, I don't think the winning team should walk away, like, intact. Like, I think there should be some casualties on both sides. Otherwise, like, let's say during the fight Donut dies, and the fight's still going, like, the rest of the blue team doesn't die, it becomes, like, super obvious which side wins. Like, just from that, unless you want to just create a weird scenario where they're all piled together and die all at once. It'd just be a little weird. So there's that. If I have any hope in this episode, please let Caboose kill Church. That's the one thing I want in the fight. Just Caboose to kill Church. That's... Okay, I say one thing. I mean, the one kill I want is for Caboose to team kill Church. If he doesn't, I'll be very surprised. Anyway, I think I've ran... Oh, Jesus, that went on for over 10 minutes. I'm just going to put this on shut up and hit play. Wow, 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 wow.
Edison versus Tesla. Coke versus Pepsi. Goku versus Superman.
Rivalries have lasted nearly 2 decades or spawned epic battles like our second favorite web series, Red versus...
Of course you say second favorite.
Red team, even though most of them don't actually wear red.
And the Blue Team, their perpetual ocean-colored rivals. For this battle, we'll be bringing these two groups back to where it all started.
Yeah, the classic
What
teams.
would have happened if they had stopped dicking around and actually just fought for real?
Just a note, we will be locking any artificial intelligence characters within their primary bodies, since they're invincible unless they stumble into an EMP.
Oh, that changes everything then!
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
Also, I think I missed Boomstick saying Emp. Who would win? A death battle! Okay. That helps out the Reds a whole lot.
Not long from now,
of course, they start off with "Ever wonder why we're here?"
Humanity goes to war with an alien covenant.
So the United Nations Space Command came up with a ton of plans to win, and one of those was called Project Freelancer.
Essentially an experiment using AI to create invincible super soldiers. In order to fabricate...
Yeah, it didn't entirely work out very well. Although it spawned Carolina, who I love.
Approach.
Dumping a bunch of losers in a box canyon and telling them they're at war with each other.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
Dick Simmons, Dexter Griff, Franklin Delano Donut, Lopez the Heavy.
Kind of weird why they're not going with Winnie's pink, but I'll let it slide.
You know how they say prejudice is taught, not born? Well, they haven't met Super Colonel Sarge, who I bet was screaming how much he hates Blue the second he popped into the world.
Attention, Blue Team!
I'm just reading the stuff on the side while listening to...
We're here to destroy you! Your long reign of being the shittiest team around is about to come to a sudden and cataclysmic end!
I mean, if things work out well for you, Sarge.
Unfortunately discharged after developing a fear of heights, only to be picked up by Project Freelancer to achieve his dream.
Lead the
to kill those dirty blues!
Dirty blues. Oh, man, he's great. He seems like the kind of guy you could just have a catch with.
Sure.
You know, if there's anyone I'm worried about for this fight, it's honestly Boomstick.
Hey, he's good enough
because if Sarge dies, oh god.
For 17 seasons, and those two spend a lot of time together.
It's a complicated relationship.
They fucked at one point.
You'd be surprised at their capabilities. Simmons may be a brilliant geek,
Or at least it's heavily implied.
but he proves stereotypes wrong by changing his armored suit in just 4 seconds.
Well, how about this?
How did you change so fast?
I always kind of interpreted that as like he painted it off.
Armor is designed to be applied by Spartans within a considerable few minutes. This would imply Simmons is 90 times faster than the average super soldier.
That's
He's
just
also
ridiculous.
technically a cyborg, but everyone
Also,
gets that these days.
technically the armor is put on by machines, not the Spartans themselves.
Who only cares about pizza and Oreos?
Just throwing it out there.
He's my favorite. He's also been hit in the nuts more times than I can count, and he's still standing today. That's some balls of steel right
Okay,
there.
that's just
Then there's Donut. Easily duped, but always a joy. He's clearly identifiable by his lightish red armor.
Where's your
How could you not love
red?
Donut?
Pink.
Magenta. Donut
I have a
shows
latest red
incredible
Sharpie.
tenacity. He was
I
once
should have prepared it.
through the
God damn
chest,
it.
causing his armor to lock up and was left bleeding out on the ground for over a year, but he got better.
And he's got the
That's
best
kind of
red
Donut's
armor
thing.
around.
It
He
seems
can
like he
work
dies, but then he
right
just shows up like nothing happened.
Canyon.
Which is over 1,500
He's like
feet
Kenny.
long.
And last of all is the team robot who hates everyone.
Lopez.
Lopez.
Hola.
Hey, that robot looks like Lopez.
No matter how many times they rebuild him, they can never figure out how to fix that language setting.
Nope, and I hope they never do
The
because
Reds
it's
carry
funny.
a standard Spartan assortment of magnums, battle rifles, and SMGs.
But if I had to pick one weapon of the bunch, I'd have to go with
Of
Sarge's
course.
trusty shotgun.
Seriously? The weapon with the shortest range?
Wiz, how long have we known each other? Have you never looked at my
Come
phone
on,
before?
Wiz.
Besides, an effective range of 45 meters is almost the length of an Olympic swimming pool. Watch your back, Michael Phelps. I know how to beat you now.
Of
Jesus.
course, we can't forget their hallmark vehicle,
The
Warthog.
Warthog.
You mean the Puma?
AKA, this
Nice.
3-ton supercar tops out at 78 miles per hour and is heavily armored.
Well, it's
Okay, the rocket
supposed to.
launcher's in there.
Somehow the Reds always find new ways to break the thing.
Lucky that Sarge is
Yeah.
a mechanic. And you know what they say?
Oh, and
girls?
Lopez.
Good mechanics make for good fathers.
But what I find most
Oh,
baffling
God.
is that for some reason, these low-life dimwits have been given the most state-of-the-art Space Marine armor in the galaxy.
Oh yeah, the
Makes the
modern
show entertaining.
Mjolnir suit.
Mjolnir.
Gesundheit. Titanium plating, energy shields, hydrostatic gel, liquid metal crystal. These babies can take one hell of a beating.
Apparently strong enough to withstand the blast of a 50-megaton bomb.
Gotta love it
I'm
when
a little
bomb
iffy on that.
It's so big, you think it sent you to the future. Good times.
But when push came to shove, the Reds banded together to take down one of the deadliest warriors in the galaxy. The
Meta. With
Despite
Tucker's help.
all logic and reason, the two pillars I hold most dear, I am forced to admit, these morons have proven to be a mind-bogglingly impressive team.
I'm not ordering you to go.
I love this speech so
I ain't even
much.
asking. You do what you gotta do, Private Griff.
I'll go get my car keys.
Ah, all right then. Let's move.
Okay,
The blues.
time for the blues.
Not just a great way to sing out all those complicated, messed up feelings you keep down about being fatherless. They're the second half of this epic.
Oh god, any chance to just cut to Sarge.
For this team, they've been through a lot.
Maybe true. Unlike the Reds, they've suffered numerous casualties and are constantly plagued by
They don't
product
have
related
shovels, which
experiments.
sucks
You know how they
because
were experimenting
their guys
with
keep
AI?
dying.
They could only get one, an alpha based on the project's director. Shit went down and they had to hide the alpha where nobody would ever find it.
Apparently, this
Blood
canyon in
Gulch.
the middle of nowhere seemed the perfect fit.
This is Blue Team. Leonard Church, Lavernius Tucker, Agent Texas, Sheila, who is a living tank, and Caboose.
After losing their original captain to
I love Caboose so much.
deadly allergy incident, Church
An aspirin
reluctantly
overdose.
stepped up to be the Blue Team's unofficial leader.
Spoiler alert, he's the secret alpha AI. I don't know what makes him so special, though. He's a cranky asshole who's terrible at literally everything he does.
Caboose has killed more blues than reds.
He thinks he's a ghost.
So damn
But
true.
remember that 50-megaton bomb? Church's team all survived it too, including himself, while it was inside his own body.
What the hell?
Tucker wants you to think he's a ladies' man. However, after careful, painstaking analysis, we have determined that he has very little game, being that his most frequent hook.
Well, yeah, but he does have
Kind of a badass, though.
more than one child.
The meta, sure you can hit Cyclops in the balls and held off a small army of mercenaries by himself. He even wields a kick-ass energy sword that only works for him.
But for the biggest badass of the bunch,
I'd actually be
no
kind of
further
curious
than
if they have
Agent
someone kill
Tex.
Tucker and take his
Tex
sword.
is an anomaly. She's not really a blue, but a freelancer assigned to the team through circumstance. Yet she's also not really a freelancer, but a robot duplicate hosting an artificial intelligence fragment split from the alpha as a clone of the director's late wife, Allison.
Yeah,
The beta
Chuck, guys,
AI.
How'd you not see that coming from when the show started?
Unfortunately, the text fragment is specifically based on the memory of Allison's death and the concept of failure. This means that Tex is literally programmed to fail. Now, this
That doesn't mean...
fights or that her team
Yeah.
can't succeed on missions. It's more of a personal defect.
It sure
Also,
hasn't stopped her
I
from
wouldn't
kicking some
hold that against
serious
Blue
ass.
Team entirely.
Tex
It
was
would just
number one
affect
on the
Tex.
freelancer leaderboard. Easily caught this giant crate and could even flip over Sheila. You know, the 66-ton tank with a mind of its own? The perfect companion for Caboose's team killing.
Okay, I
spree.
really want to hear them talk about Caboose.
The funny fan favorite who can get you to quote everything he says. And he's really
Stupid.
really dumb. Hey, speak of the dummy.
Perfect timing. As this battle will be in Blood Gulch, the usual teleportation units will be in place.
Oh, God.
Players have used these teleporters frequently with varying results. In you go.
Certainly.
Oh,
Could
God.
go wrong.
Teleportation is instantaneous. As you can see,
You totally killed him, didn't you?
probably.
He's gonna show up
Aside from Tucker's
later on.
kick-ass lightsaber, the Blues carry pretty boring weapons. I mean,
That's
they
actually a
don't really
key.
need much when they have a robot ninja on their side. Church does have a cool sniper rifle, but he really sucks.
Yeah,
at it.
he can't hit
Which sort of
shit.
makes sense. Unlike everyone else, Church never experienced any training or combat before Blood Gulch.
You know, that explains a lot.
Even without specialized weapons, Blue Team has a few aces up their sleeves. Agent Tex carries an additional AI fragment, Omega.
Oh, they're bringing Omega into this?
The fragment of the Alpha's rage.
Okay.
With it, she can use extra enhancement gear, such as a cloaking device. It also affects her personality, quite literally transforming her into a vicious killing machine.
It can also pop out of her head and possess other people like a ghost. But remember,
Oh, okay, so
lock
he
it
still
in
have-
to their bodies, because that is super overpowered.
Even though Tex has shown
Okay.
incredible feats of strength, Caboose is surprisingly even stronger.
Yeah, he's stronger than
With a
Tex.
body identical to the one she used to flip Sheila, Tex was unable to lift Andy the bomb, while Caboose
I love how they're
for
using this.
periods of time.
And after entering an alien temple, Santa, don't question it.
Yes, that's the AI's name.
Cold, and Caboose didn't even notice. I remember a certain Saiyan struggling to do something like that. I mean, I guess this means Caboose is better than Goku.
Stop it.
I accept that.
Floodgates.
I'm kidding, you idiot. Still, Caboose was strong enough to defeat a bunch of Tex clones all at once. It's like they say, it's God's way of compensating.
Unfortunately,
So
the
true.
team has a tendency to get in way over their heads, often losing
Yeah,
team
kinda.
members in the process.
But somehow, some way, they always come back together. They're a good team in a weird, stupid way.
Sheila?
So very stupid.
Son of a bitch!
Okay. Okay, the biggest thing for me right now is that they brought up that they're locking AIs to their bodies. That honestly throws Blue Team's biggest advantage out the window for me. Okay, so there's gonna be no possession. Once certain people die, that's it. And I've originally stated that I believe Tex is overall going to fall victim to that whole failing thing. It doesn't mean... Okay, that just means I think Tex is going to die as a result of it. I still think, like, even after being killed, Blue Team can keep fighting and win in the end. Okay, I still think the Reds' biggest advantage is that they work better as a team overall. And, well, yes, Tex is very impressive and is number one on the freelancer leaderboard for good reason. I guess you could put him at, like, 3 at the point when they did it. Wyoming. And I say you could put him at number 3 because he killed York beforehand, who was also the number 3, but whatever. You saw in the blue team's analysis, like right near the end, there was a whole bunch of like guys in white armor. That was Wyoming. And because he's got this time distortion unit, it's kind of crazy. But he cloned himself like tons of times over. Red team kind of slaughtered them. Like, I actually don't recall Tex taking any of them out. Like, Tucker maybe, but that's because like he knew where every single one of them was going to be because he was unaffected by it somehow. And Church was, well, Church. And yeah, they have Sheila, but I kind of realized this quite a while back. And I said, Church isn't the only one on blue team that can't hit anything. Because Sheila doesn't really hit anything besides Church or, well, yeah, she hits the red team's Warthog, but there are plenty of examples of the Reds all surviving getting hit by Scorpion tanks, especially Griff. Like, my goodness. Also, kind of surprised they didn't, like, bring up all the times that Boomstick put Griff through shit personally, but alright, would have been a perfect opportunity to reference it. Oh god, solely because of the body thing, I actually want to lean towards red team. Because, yeah, the more I thought about stuff, I thought the Reds as a whole seem, like, better equipped for this fight. Like, better suited and all that stuff. I feel like I might regret this, but gonna go with red team. Like, honestly, regardless of what the result, it's gonna be kind of hard for me to watch all these characters die. Because I love red versus blue and these characters, but it's death battle. Someone's gotta die. Or in this case, multiple someones. Okay, so final answer. I think red team are gonna win. So, but I'm totally prepared to be wrong on that. So, let's see where this goes. Oh, and like I always do, I'll let you know when it's 100% blind, because I saw the animation preview on Death Battlecast. And, oh god, I cannot wait to see the rest of this fight. Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run data through all possibilities. It's time for a death battle! Between a bunch of idiots and a Bugs Canyon.
Okay, why did we bring the flag out here?
Because it's supposed to rain today.
I do like how they got Kirk Johnson to voice Caboose.
What's a flag got to do with rain? Wait, do you think the flag is an umbrella? Caboose, have you ever seen an umbrella before?
Probably not. And I love how this is the reason their fight starts. Like the flag, of course. And I love how they bring that back.
The teleporter never worked. Now come on, let's... Wait, where's Caboose?
They always lose sight of Caboose somehow.
One thing weather report.
And here's Sheila.
Let's go, Sheila. The only good red is a red in bed.
God damn it, Caboose.
On the gas, pronto!
Yeah, I know.
Sheila, look out. Oh no, there's another one. Who put all these rocks out?
That line, who put all these rocks out here? It gets me every time. Oh, that's so Caboose.
No way, those caves are amazing.
Move over, numbnut!
Hey, don't leave me out here.
Ah, there's the Griff shot.
Simmons, here's the plan. We're going to use the Warthog...
This plan is not gonna go well, Sarge.
engine, which will rupture and cause the tank to self-destruct in a glorious explosion!
Excellent plan, sir. Except for,
Well, all of it. Okay, from here on, it's 100% blind. And... Kaboom goes the hog.
Jesus, what was that?
Oh.
Where's it? Simmons? Simmons!
Here, blah.
Oh god, Simmons is dead already? And... Let's done it. There's a spider!
Who else wants a taste of this big D?
God damn it, Donut!
No judging. End of the line, Reds.
Dirty Blue.
Oh boy.
You're exactly right. Today is a good day to die. Charge!
Oh boy. How's this gonna go? Jesus. Yeah, like, hand to hand, not a good idea against Tex. Oh, gee. Oh, is Griff gonna get his own back? No, he's gonna get hit in the nuts. Ooh. Ow. Oh, God, is Lopez just gonna...
Hey, Roboto.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, go Tucker! I mean, given who you were trained by, it makes sense. Oh, that's a ballsy move, Lopez. What's that just against me? And Lopez the heavy! Oh, God. Oh, good move!
I've never hit a lady.
Oh boy, things are not working out for well for the red team. I'm starting to regret my pick. Oh! Griff with the save! And ballsy move to try that again. Oh! Yeah. Okay. The Reds are fucked. That's...
How do I help? Just stay there, Caboose. I'm not helping. God damn it! This rifle is busted.
Oh god, Caboose.
Arrived.
Caboose, no!
Oh shit!
Tex!
Tucker did it.
Tucker did it. Oh god, Donut.
This is it.
Well, I got what I asked for.
Red versus blue. Blood versus water.
Blood
Versus
versus...
lifeless, tasteless, waste of space blood. Destiny awaits. Today, the cerulean devil dies. Well, should have seen that coming. Bluff.
Okay, well that happened. What the fuck?
Good thing.
And it rained. Okay, I called it wrong, whatever.
The weather was so important.
As chaotic as the show we all know.
Okay, so the Reds had plenty going for them.
That was...
Brains and speed on their side. with
Weird.
Simmons, and they had some epic firepower. But the blue team had the grit to overpower them.
When it comes to physical strength, nobody on the red team came close to the raw power of Tex and Caboose.
Especially
Sheila
Caboose.
and lifting Andy made that pretty clear. Hell, Sarge even tried to lift Andy once and he couldn't do it. Poor guy.
I mean, he did it eventually, but Andy lost weight somehow, so...
He's in Big Dad energy. You can't win them all.
Speaking of which, it could be argued Sarge has more extensive military experience than anyone else. However, Tex's freelancer training was far more intensive than standard military issue.
Yeah.
Just look at what she did to the Reds before. She's a monster.
Not to mention she technically had 2 lifetimes of training, being a copy of Allison and all.
Yeah, her lame programming meant she couldn't win the fight by herself.
But it doesn't mean the
teammate
Blues
picked up the
couldn't.
slack. Tucker even got some freelancer training in too, thanks to Agent Washington, and could hold off a platoon of mercs all by himself.
Yeah, Tucker's like overall the best fighter out of everyone.
Oh, and in the fight between tanks versus cars, tanks generally win.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's pretty obvious.
The red team may have been extremely resilient, mostly thanks to aggravating stubbornness, but it wasn't enough to survive the stellar skill and the brute force of blue team.
If only they could
Where's
have
Dummy?
read that they'd end up with a case of the blues.
And that's even without releasing the obviously superior power of artificial intelligence units.
You know,
Yeah, if they had those,
ever wonder why
kinda
you
would have been
were
a
here?
slaughter.
All the time.
The
I love how they
winner
worked that
is
in.
the blue team.
Congrats, Blue Team.
Thanks for checking out that episode.
And Caboose was the last one that lived.
The new season of RVB that I worked on, RVB0.
But
First episode is up for free
I feel
right
bad
now
for
on
Boomstick.
boomstick.com. Check the link in the description.
Alright, what's next? Oh, no. Okay, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Yeah, I finally lost one this season. Do I really care? No. You know what, I think because of the whole, like, oh, like, them not having AI and whatnot, like, possession and everything, I think I've put a bit too much faith in that, so, you know what? Yeah, that one's on me. And, oh my god, like, as soon as Simmons died, I thought, okay, yeah, that's a bit soon, but then when, like, Lopez bit it and Griff got his neck snapped, Jesus, I started to think, okay, yeah, blue team were winning, but then Caboose killed everybody, and boy, I don't think I was prepared for any of that. But my god, was that entertaining. And just like the sheer amount of callbacks, like, throughout all of Red vs. Blue. That was a fantastic episode for me. I really liked it. It's definitely up there among one of my favorites of this season. So, yeah, like, got the result wrong, but whatever. It was a great episode, and I'll take it. I mean, it sucks that so many characters I like just died, but it's the nature of the show. And the next time. Okay. I'm usually fine with Marvel vs. DC fights. But the more of them we've been getting, I've been starting to think it's too much this season. Like, not just specifically with Marvel vs. DC, but with Marvel and DC. Like, oh God, especially in the second half, because, like, okay, we had The Flash, Winter Soldier versus Red Hood, Venom versus Krona, and yeah, we got a break with this fight, but then we're immediately going to another Marvel vs. DC. 5 episodes in a row, that's 4 that feature a Marvel or DC character. And I saw someone, like, put this together, and I think they're right on this, but half of the episodes, like, as a whole this season, seem to have a Marvel and or DC character, or both. Like, yeah, I'm, like, it takes a lot for me to actually side with people, like, yeah, this is too much. I feel like it is at too much. And not only that, but, well, yeah, I saw Batgirl vs. Spider-Gwen coming at some point. It's just like, we've done Batman vs. Spider-Man twice already. Like, we did Peter Parker vs. Bruce Wayne, and then we did Miguel O'Hara vs. Terry McGinnis, the future versions. And now I guess Barbara Gordon versus Gwen Stacy, because they're the female versions. Like, okay, like, I don't mean to dump on that matchup, because it's not a bad matchup, and you know, if you're one of those people who are excited for this matchup, then yeah, I'm happy for you that you're finally getting it. I feel like with the sheer amount of just Marvel or DC, or even just Spider-Man characters we've been getting this season, because we started this year off with Miles, and we just had Venom, but now we're immediately having Spider-Gwen. Oh, Jesus. In the 5 episodes, I've completely forgot about Sabrewulf versus John Talbane. I feel bad now, but... Okay. 6 episodes. And so many of them had Marvel or DC characters. It's getting kind of ridiculous. But, you know, I'll still look forward to it because, you know, new death battle, new fight, and the excitement of what could be after. So, yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna wrap this video up because... Oh boy, this recording's gone on for nearly 40 minutes. To anyone who's actually watched through this whole thing, I'm so sorry. Anyway, thanks for watching, all that stuff, and here's whatever outro is next in the cycle. Bye.
Thank you for watching Your Only Mate. Tune in next time.